Hey, you guys, welcome back. We're in my garden again, and we are going to showcase one of my favorite plants. I mean, I know I say that about all my plants, but if they're in my garden, technically they're all my favorite plants. But this one is definitely a favorite. This is the Farfugium plant. It is also called tractor seat, leopard's ear. It's got so many different names, but Farfugium is its original name. It is native to Japan, and I am in love with this lily pad leaf. So I've used it in my garden, as you can see, quite often. I absolutely love the look of it. The size of this leaf to me is just so fabulous. I don't know what screams tropical more than that. And the fact that it is a slow growing plant is one of my favorite things about it. So this has been in my garden for a few years now, and this is the size it's been. I do very little work to it because it has that kind of messy, tropical, lush kind of look to it. So you only trim what you don't want on this plant. So say if it's coming over into the walkway a little bit, I might just trim this one, for instance, because it's getting a little bit too close to the walkway. Or if one of the leaves turn yellow, I'll trim that leaf. But that's pretty much it. So it's kind of an as needed, no fuss overall plant. Now, the places that it really likes to be in your garden, if you plan on using this plant, is a shade environment. Shade, filtered light. It does not like full sun. It does not like even too much morning midday sun. It can really start to really melt on you. So it really does like to be within a canopy grouping of trees. You know, that's kind of where it belongs. So if you have a kind of a layered landscape. It loves to be underneath palm trees. It can be underneath that oak tree where nothing else grows under it but ferns. Try these guys out. They really do like that acidic soil, so all of that leaf droppage will not bother them at all. They're a great understory planting. Now, what I usually like to do with them is I'll pair them with something that's like this, which is the giant this is the dwarf alocasia. And this, even though it's dwarf, it's just like every other dwarf in Florida, it still grows huge. So this guy will still get into that 4-foot range of height. And so when he's 4-foot range, his real beauty is at the top with these giant leaves. I think I have an Alice in Wonderland thing going on because I love those big giant leaves and, I like those lily pad kind of feel. But so this is going to get tall, which means the bottom of it is going to get kind of leggy. And when that happens, I'm not a fan of seeing that base. So I'll take a skirt planting and skirt around the bottom of it, which allows me to put a lot of plants in a very small space because you can really kind of layer right on top of it as long as you use the sequence of plantings. These plants fall forward and chunk out. These plants go vertical and widen out. And so you kind of need the two. Almost two is just like having one plant, for instance. So they're fantastic for that. So places that are other companion plants that they grow super well with is I've got some aglaonema back here that you can't see because my elephant ear are outgrowing them. They grow in that same family, so they do super well together, and they grow about the same time frame. Another plant is last week's plant of the week, which was a sloppy painter. Sloppy painters are fabulous with their big, crazy, long-leafed color, and then these guys that are the exact opposite. Wide leaf, big round, shiny leaf, and they'll go around the bottom of them. Fantastic for that. So companion plants, sloppy painters, elephant ears, rojo congos, because all of those are going to grow in that same kind of fashion. Fertilization. So I fertilize most of these tropicals that you see here with 8212. I know that is a palm fertilizer, but they really do react super well to a palm fertilization. So Palm Gain or Lesco 8212 slow release granular is a great product to use. And you kind of just, all I do is I kind of just chicken feed it. So I'll take a bucket and take a handful and just kind of go right along the edges of the plant grouping with it. You don't want to touch any of the leaves. You just kind of want to make sure that you're kind of dispersing it through the soil. So, keep in mind that I know it's fertilizing plants, but really what you're doing is you're fertilizing the soil because the plants take up that nutrients from the soil. So that's what you're amending. That's what you're touching up. So every time you're doing a fertilization, you're really just almost doing like a top dressing for the soil. You're kind of giving it, I know it's a synthetic fertilizer, but you're kind of giving it that nutrients that it needs, those plants need to soak up. So and you're going to want to do that I start every March, and then I hit it again in June, then September, and then December. Now, if December's temps drop, and the plants kind of slow down with their growing, and it's in the 50s 40 range. I do not hit fertilizer that time of the year, so I'm hoping September's will carry us over into March. So but yeah, so it's generally 4 times a year if we have a warm winter, which is a lot of our winters. Um, so I think we covered everything, where it goes in the garden, how to maintain it. um, yeah, if there's anything else that I've missed as far as care for this plant, and you're thinking about using it in your own garden, and I can offer some insight, then please share it in the comments down below. And if it's a question that I think that everybody should know, I'll be sure to pin it at the top of the comments, because that way we can help everybody in this gardening community. We really can give everybody the help that they want for creating a tropical buffer in their plantings. So I will see you guys in the very next Plant of the Week video. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. And comment True Gardener if you made it through this video. Thank you, True Gardeners. I will see you in the very next video next week.